Hi, I'm Dr. Duncan Markham.
And I'm Dr. Debbie Lokes.
And we are Ear and Speak.
Yes.
In?
Melbourne, Australia.
There we go. So today we're going to talk about TH. That's th and th. Did you know there were two? Yeah.
So, and
Yeah. So lots of people don't even realise that there are actually two different TH sounds. One is called voiceless because there's nothing happening down here. And one is called voiced because it buzzes down here at the same time.
And the important thing to note is they're spelt exactly the same way.
Yeah. So if you're looking at an English word, you cannot tell which one it is. If in doubt, use the voiceless one. So, yeah, a word like other is meant to have the voiced one. If you're not sure or you can't remember that, go other. Sounds a bit strange, but people will manage. The other way around, not so much.
So maybe we can give some examples of voiceless and voiced words.
So the number 3, which is also particularly hard because of the R coming afterwards, that's a voiceless one. 3.
And the word think and thanks.
Thanks, exactly. You can have it on the end of a word like both.
Or teeth.
Exactly. And then the voiced one, like this. No, I'm exaggerating it slightly right now, but...
And that and they.
Yeah. Other.
Yes. Quite common words, actually.
Yeah. And you get on the end of some words, and even native speakers sometimes find this difficult, like in the word smooth. Yeah.
Or breathe.
Yeah. So that's the to breathe. B-R-E-A-T-H-E. Breathe.
And breath.
Yeah, that's confusing. So the breath, the actual thing that comes in and out, is just a voiceless TH. But the verb to breathe is voiced.
Yes.
English can be a bit cruel sometimes. So, what happens in a TH? The air flows. That's probably one of the most important things to keep in mind. The air has to flow the entire time you're doing a TH.
Yes, and we have our tongue tip through our teeth, typically.
So it can be just on the edge, or it can actually be sticking out. In California, it can come out a long way. Different dialects, yeah. So this or this, yeah.
This.
There's a video on the internet I've seen. Somebody trying to teach people how to do TH, and they said, it's miraculous, you can make TH so easily, you do it behind your teeth and it can sound fine. And it can sound fine, but very rare as a non-native speaker to be able to achieve that. So native speakers, when they speak fast, they can do it behind their teeth. Yeah, teeth. But in normal speech and in careful speech, and if you're learning, you definitely have to be trying to stick your tongue out.
One of the interesting things about that TH sound is it's quite rare in languages. It's a bit hard to hear it sometimes.
Yeah, so it's a very quiet sound, which is why people have trouble hearing it. And they confuse it with S sometimes because it's just this quiet hissing sound, or even with F, which is an even quiet hissing sound.
Yeah, and they're all made around the same place in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. So you even get some dialects of English which have replaced or partially replaced TH with F and V. This is very, very common in southeastern England.
So somebody might say thanks instead of thanks.
Yeah, they might say other instead of other. It used to be really, really stigmatised. That means regarded as being really bad in society to replace the TH with an F or a V. But in Britain, it's become extremely common. You probably won't see the Queen do it, but you'll certainly hear a surprising number of people in public life doing it. In Australia, that's not yet the case by a long way. It's very rare to hear somebody using f or v for TH in a public or public environment.
Yeah, exactly. In public view.
In public view, yeah.
And I suppose an important point to think about as well is even though th and f sound very similar, native speakers can clearly hear the difference.
Precisely. And they're also looking for the difference.
Exactly.
So if they're watching your mouth in a noisy environment and you replace a TH with an F, they're going to think you said something else quite possibly. Even worse if you say an S because they can't even see what's happening inside your mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you say Sri for 3, they have no idea what happened inside your mouth.
Exactly. Yep.
So really important to learn to do a TH well. It is difficult. And because of the spelling, people often think there's either an H in there or that there's a T in there. And in fact, there's neither.
No, exactly. And when we say it's difficult but achievable, I suppose.
Yeah, for most people, definitely achievable. Most often it's that misunderstanding at the beginning when they first started learning English about what a TH really was.
Yes.
So one of the things to keep in mind is, for instance, that the airflow is so important. You don't want the airflow to be interrupted.
Exactly. So I can say and you can hear that flow of air.
Yeah, exactly. And many people, when they try to do it, they think of that T and they end up going like number tree. And then you get the S option number 3, and then you get the F option number 3. Got to go nice airflow. Takes a lot of discipline, but it's achievable for most people.
And the important thing is it's signalling a difference between words as well.
Precisely. That's why you've got to learn it right. Yeah. Is there anything else to say?
No.
I think that's it for TH. Good luck learning TH.
Yes.
I'm Dr. Duncan Markham.
And I'm Dr. Debbie Lokes.
And we are Ear and Speak. Bye-bye.